Starting over and change is never easy. Regardless if that change comes from your relationship, your work status, or just your living conditions and going to a new country, having to start a new life, leaving everything you know behind, it's never ever easy. We fear the unknown as human beings. Our fear comes from just knowing what's on the other side. We find comfort in the things that we find familiar. So when you're taken out of your usual environment and thrown into a completely new world, and that initial shock fades, what do you do after that? How are you going to take this and pick up the pieces and start over? If you haven't been to my page before, I'm Hamasa. I look at personal development as well as mental and emotional well-being and just day-to-day issues. Please do subscribe to my page so that you're up to date with all my content. And for those returning, welcome back. So, like I said, change is never easy, but then when it does happen and it's out of your control and your circumstances, then what happens then? Now, in the case of looking at this from the perspective of the refugees from Afghanistan who have come over to the UK to start a new life, that trauma or what happened is completely beyond their control or what they can do about it. They had no choice but to escape to save their lives. Them feeling lost and confused and having to come to a new country is of course very traumatic and stressful. And they don't know the culture, the language, it's the fear of the unknown. Now, you can look at this two ways and be a victim about it and be very upset, which rightfully so, you're in a position to do so. But in the grand scheme of things, that's really not going to help you evolve and start fresh. So the way to look at this situation would be to look at it as, I was lucky enough to be able to escape. There was a reason that I'm here, and those less fortunate than me are not. I was given a chance. This is a clean slate. Now, in terms of people generally who haven't had to escape or become a refugee and haven't had to move a whole new country, again, it's the same mindset that applies. You could look at it as, oh my God, everything got taken away from me, everything as I've known it, which is again true, but it's all in your mindset. It's a decision about making, it's about making that decision to start fresh. Like, okay, this happened. But the way I can look at it is that I've been given a completely clean slate. Let me reanalyze myself. Let me reflect back and see that whether the values and things that I held important before are even valid or relatable to me now, because I'm in a position to reset a brand new foundation for myself, a brand new life. I can start over from the bottom up and build it the way and how I want to build it. So looking again, it's all in the mindset. Like I said, it's either you could be a victim or be proactive about it. Because most times when these big changes happen, for example, a relationship dumping you or a work letting you go, it's not really in your control. The only thing that you can control is yourself and the way you think and look at the situation. So you could think about it as, how can I now use this as an opportunity to build things exactly the way I want them to? And that mindset alone will give you more motivation to look forward to things, to the unknown, because it's your choice how you want to dictate that. If you're really stuck in a rut and this is like lower than low and beyond sitting there and thinking of your goals and things that you could do to improve, if you're in that position and that mindset, then I'd say you have to understand that your mind alone can't get you out from feeling so lost and confused. So you need to change your actual physiological environment. So your body physically needs to change to produce certain chemicals to get you out of the mindset. You can't will your mind or meditate or journal at this stage because you're feeling so lost and confused. So if you're at your lowest of the low, completely, crumbled down and falling apart, then it's very difficult for me to sit here and say you should journal and set yourself some goals for the future and look forward to it. In that state of mind, everything else seems very irrelevant and mundane. Like, you need to get through the next 5 minutes. You're on survival mode. So if that's where you're at in your stage of wanting to start over and just feeling lost and confused, then the first thing to do, like I said, is to get yourself out of that physical, like changing your physical environment. That will help you get yourself out of that mindset. So if it means going for a walk for 10-20 minutes, do that. If it means just jumping around and shaking, do that. If it means working out, do that. Because by actively moving your body and producing a different set of chemicals, it will change your headspace and where your mind is at. Once you've done that, or during the period of you doing that, because that's what you can do, you have control over that. Think of the things that you are grateful for. Not many, make it 1 to 3. So, I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful that I'm safe. I'm grateful that I have food on my plate. Like, these things, basic things that you are fortunate enough to have. Think of gratitude. And then think of 3 things that you would like to improve for the next day. Not 10 years' time, not a year's time, but the next day, end of the week, weekend. Set yourself small goals. And it's like, okay, so if I'm new to the country and I need to find my way, what can I do? Let me look at possibly my health and see where I can reach out to. Let me look at language courses that are available. Let me look at little things, like one act of something that you feel like you've achieved. So set yourself small goals. If it means you're not eating, you've lost your appetite, let me eat a healthy breakfast today. That will be my challenge for the day. Let me take a shower and speak to someone outside of my room or environment. Change your physiological state, which in turn will change your mindset. When you're in a better headspace, try and look at things that you are grateful for or that are going right for you. Then look at things that you would like to achieve and set them, make them realistic, make them small. When you're in such a low state, the smallest thing, like getting out of bed or having a shower, feels like an achievement. So reward yourself for that. Look at it as, this is what I'm going to set my goal to be today, is to have a shower and go for a walk. And when you do that, feel a sense of accomplishment. Try and detach yourself from that end goal and what it should be, the results, and take each day as it comes and enjoy that journey and how you're getting there and things that you are overcoming. Celebrate the small wins and don't let the small setbacks deter you away from your bigger goal altogether. So when you're really feeling that low, it's good to look at things each day as it comes, and small wins are still wins. And lastly, look at things that you do have control over and concentrate on those. They would make you feel more empowered and a little bit more in control of situations. When you're feeling very, very lost and you're faced with a big change, you could drown in this feeling of not having control over anything. So look at the things that you do have control over and try and concentrate on those, because that will make you feel empowered, and then you can start taking control of other situations slowly at your own pace. Now, once you're out of this very, very dire mindset and a very low state, is when you could look at the bigger changes and bigger goals that you need to set yourself, like finding a language course or picking up a new hobby or making new friends. Then when you're a little bit better and you've accepted your trauma and accepted that a change needs to happen, or that you're pushed to make this change, so a decision of, okay, I'm going to start over comes along, and you feel a little bit better because you've digested it, is when you can start looking at setting yourself some goals and how you can get there. When you have something to look forward to, when you set yourself incentives and goals and aspirations, then it gives you a reason, it gives you a purpose. When you have a purpose, you don't feel so lost. So it all links. You might think, oh, I'm feeling so low right now, everything's very new to me, I don't know what I'm doing. How is setting a goal for 5 years' time going to help my situation right now? But the way it does is that once you write that goal down, you make it become more of a realistic, achievable objective. And so that gives you a purpose. When you have a purpose, that will improve your day-to-day mindset and how you feel about yourself and about your situation. So that's why it's important to do that. And the other thing that I would say is that connect with people that you trust and that are close to you or that are like-minded and can support your new direction. Being somewhere new, not knowing your surroundings is very, very difficult. So if you have a support network or people that have been through similar situations and you could speak to, then that's incredibly important to try and build these relationships and start relying on them and asking for help if you need it. Because, it doesn't mean that very popular people or people that are surrounded by, a horde of admirers are much more happier or content. It's not about the quantity of relationships, it's about the quality. So it's important for you to surround yourself by 2 or 3 people that you really trust and make you feel good. And that support system will kind of help you ground you and find your feet and encourage you in moving in the right direction. So accepting what has happened and deciding that you need to start afresh, and then taking necessary steps to get yourself out of that mindset, and then start setting your goals and building networks and support systems to help you get there, is the way to get you out of feeling so lost and confused by being thrown in the unknown. And like I said, everybody goes through these setbacks. You don't have to be a refugee from Afghanistan to feel lost and confused in life. The reason I use that as an example is, of course, again, I want to relate it to the current situations that are going on and to the people that need it the most, and also I relate to and I understand. But this mindset and these tips are also helpful for whoever is going through a confusing stage in their life, or they're just feeling lost and don't know how to pick themselves back up. Because, no matter how successful you are, no matter how many relationships, close, valuable relationships you have around you, no matter how rich you are and all the places you've been and how amazing your life looks, you could still go through phases and situations that really push you back and make you feel very, very lost or confused. So don't think that other people are so fortunate or everything's working out great for them. Everybody goes through this. There are different stages in your life that you're going to feel very lost and confused despite being super successful and having a great relationship. That's okay, that's human. We have our own fears, and sometimes we project that, and sometimes we have valid reasons. Sometimes it's just things that have happened in the past that we're projecting. And it's okay if you feel like that. Most times you just need to sit down and get to the bottom of it and the root cause of you feeling lost. But in the instance of the refugees and current situations, the root cause we all know. You've both gone through a trauma, so it's justifiable for you to feel lost. You are in a new environment, you have been taken away from your home and everything that you know. So it just takes your mindset to try and reset, look at it from as positive as you can perspective, and try and be proactive about the situation, because at this point there's nothing really that can be done to change your situation or the past. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it helpful. Please do share this with someone that may find it helpful, and please do like and comment on this. Subscribe to my page, and I would love to see you guys here again next week. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah.